Hey everyone, I'm Tafony. Today, continuing the Erica Synths Pico series, this time with the Pico Drum2. Quick disclaimer, I bought this one used. I have no affiliation with Erica Synths in any way. Yeah, so I'm going to give you my quick thoughts on the Pico quote-unquote platform as a whole. While 3HP is an odd size, it can be somewhat annoying in isolation as long as you always have an even number of Pico modules or another odd HP size in your case. These modules are a great fit. And just to compare them with their probably closest competitor in the company 2HP, their 2HP modules, these are definitely a big upgrade, both in functionality, I think, but definitely in size. Being 50% larger than the 2HP modules, it's just a sturdier build. It's more room between modules to patch. It's parallel mounted boards on the back. You don't have to have those crazy perpendicular ones that the 2HP ones have. And yeah, they're just, you don't have to be as gentle with them. They feel a lot less fragile. And when you're filling your case the last 2, 3, 4 HP, and you're really having to stuff them in there sometimes, sturdiness is really nice here. So I said in the other videos, and I'll say it again, I do have some sort of complaints with Erica Synths stuff. Tends to, the paint on the panels and the silk screen on them, the white text, it's not so bad on these Pico modules here, but I used to have the sample drum and those paints just totally faded away. All the labeling was like totally disappeared on the ones that I bought used, and Erica modules over the years, they seem to have a way of having that text wear off, but it doesn't affect the functionality at all. And yeah, just something to be aware of. Okay, I think I've said everything. So with that being said, I really do like these. They do some amazing things in 3HP, and probably my second favorite next to the low pass gate is the Drum2. So if I can do a quick clearing of some confusion that I have with it, or at least things that I had to figure or had to sort out with these. There's some, I think it's language barrier or like a translation hiccup with Erica Synth stuff sometimes, but I'm hoping to clear that up, at least for myself here. So this is the Pico Drum2. According to the website and the label on the panel, you see Drum2. I will say that this module, I guess the confusion is more with the Pico Drum1, the Pico drums, that the naming is kind of funky. So the Pico Drum2 is a modeling virtual analog, I guess, like single voice drum synthesizer. It is the second Pico drum module. The first Pico drum module has 2 voices. It is called the Pico Drums, plural. So you will see, I think even in the manual of the Pico Drums 1, it refers to it as the Drum 1. I will say that sample-based one with 2 voices is the drums, and this is the Drum 2. So if you were looking for the drums or the Drum 1, that is the other module that has 2 sample-based voices, which is also really cool. But today we're talking about the Drum 2. And the Drum 2 sounds like this. Okay, let's go through the controls on the panel top to bottom. First knob controls the first parameter. This is generally going to control the pitch, but there is going to be an exception or two based on the mode that you're in. So I'm not going to demonstrate that right off the bat. Once we get to the modes, I'll go through what each of the controls adjusts. So knob 1 is parameter 1. Knob 2 is parameter 2. So second knob is going to be definitely unique to the algorithm you're using. First one is usually pitch, but second one, sometimes it's decay, sometimes it's fold, sometimes it's drive. It's a lot of different things. So definitely based on the mode. Third knob is the decay. So how long you want your notes to be, basically. And that one's pretty straightforward. And then before we get into the mode button, I'm going to skip to the jacks. Okay, the CV inputs can be a little confusing. So CV1 is assignable. It can control any of the knobs, where CV2 is patched to parameter 1. So it always controls parameter 1. So then there is a trigger input that is currently patched that I won't unpatch, and then a single monophonic audio out. So before I start running through the modes, I'll just show you how we do our configuration settings with it. So if you push the button, it cycles through the algorithms, which are indicated by color. You'll see, because I'm sending it triggers, and you can't hear it quite yet, but it's going to flash based on the triggers that it's receiving. So we're going to cycle through, see all the different algorithms. I'll show you how they sound in a moment. And to do our configuration settings, we're going to hold mode down. Press and hold. So now you'll see it's flashing. This isn't our trigger, this is it flashing. And now if you remember from the Pico voice video, this green flashing means CV1 is modulating the decay knob. And if I press it again, now it's going to flash blue, which means you can actually cycle through the algorithm with CV, which is really cool. Press it again, and we will get red, and red means that it is assigned to parameter 2. Now, because the CV2 input is always assigned to parameter 1, there's no control over that one. So, like Aphex Twin always modulated the decays, I always like to have that control there, and CV2 is always assigned to that parameter. So I will leave my CV1 assigned to decay modulation. So we hold it to get out, and now we're back in our algorithm select mode. Okay, so let's hear it. The manual is always very important. There is a spreadsheet, not a spreadsheet, there is a table on here in this PDF that will show you all the different algorithms and the parameters that are controlled with the parameter knobs. So I'm going to go through those now. But yeah, definitely give this a check if you have one. Bringing it down to 90 BPM right now, just so it's, you can hear what's going on. Bring our decay down too. Turn off that reverb. This algorithm in the orangey yellow mode is the pulse drum. So parameter 1 changes the tune. And that's going to be pretty consistent for most of them. And then the second parameter is going to be for frequency modulation decay. So if you've done kick modules, you'd probably be familiar with this one. And then last knob is decay. I think if you wanted to make all kicks with this thing and cycle through all the algorithms, I think that would be really cool use of it. So yeah, I'm gonna end that algorithm on a kick noise. And we'll move on to the next one, which is the red algorithm, which is the fold drum. So let's give it a little more decay. So this is a wave folding focus drum. And first one, as is usual, is the oscillator tune. Second parameter is for the fold amount and FM decay, so it's kind of a blend. It just gets crazier as you turn it up. But there almost is some pulse width modulation-y noises in there too. Unless I'm crazy, which I may be. Like I said about kicks, this thing seems to really excel at kicks for some reason. Or I spend too much time noodling with kicks, and that's where I always go to. But we're going to end this one on the kick as well. And then the third mode in another orange is the complex pulse drum. It doesn't sound great out of the box, but let's get in there. So we'll bring the decay down. It's starting to sound like a snare, which I like because it's kind of complex wave shape is basically pushing noise in the right spot. So first parameter is tune. Second one is the modulator oscillator tune. So I won't get into what complex oscillator does, but usually first oscillator is the voice, second one is the modulator. So if we bring up more modulation, get some more zappiness going on. Again, it's a great kick. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of kicks, I'm telling you. Okay, next one is the complex sine drum. So instead of a pulse wave, this is a sine wave. And same controls. First one is for tune. Second one is for the oscillators, or the modulators tune, so how much modulation basically. I mean, that's definitely sinusy. There you go. And I think under heavy modulation, you actually might find that the Drum2 can be nice and glitchy for you. Anyway, nobody talks about the Drum2, and this is just like where there's depth here. Why write all these modules off? I don't know. Maybe people know depth a lot better than I do, which they probably do. But let's move on to the blue algorithm, which is the space snare. So first one is tune. Second one is the noise filter. Doesn't have a ton of sweep to it. But yeah, it's a good snare. Get a little shorter decay. Get into some hat territory. That's a nice hat, too. I mean, there's lots of good stuff in here. So let's get into the next blue one, which is the noise crush. Give it some decay. Now there is a low pass filter in the second one, but first parameter is the... Sorry, I have that wrong. First one is not tune in this one only. No, not tune. It's not the tune for once. It is the low pass filter. And I believe it has a bit of its own envelope, so you got to find its own sweet spot. Second one is the bit crush. So you get into snare territory when it's cranked because it's just noise. Or turn it down. Get some like video game bleepy bloopy stuff. Yeah, I don't love this one, although there's some good snare sounds in here, but yeah. Some Galaga sound and stuff. Okay, next mode is the fold drum. Hey, there's a nice kick. I like that hairy transient after. First one is the oscillator tune. Second one is the fold amount. So wavefolding and distortion are sometimes used interchangeably, but here it doesn't get too distorted. Little wobbly. Give it some decay. What do you know? Another great kick. And then the last one is the slap. And it slaps. Well, it's okay, but it's a clap. But it's a good one. I used to have the Erica Synths drum black modulator, the 6 HP. Sorry, not modulator, the black clap, which was like a 909 clap sample. This clap is better, I think. First one is filter again. Second one is drive. And then decay, of course. So yeah. I'm Tafony. That was the Erica Synths Pico Drum2. I think these modules are awesome, especially, well, not especially. I really like this one. There's lots of good ones, not just this one, but yeah, don't sleep on the Pico series. They're great. Don't write them off because they're small and cheap. They're awesome. Pico Drum2 is great. I'm Tafony. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.